Hello everyone and welcome back to Ethlor Plays Go. Today we're continuing on this Road to Wondan series where I look back on the games I played over the course of my Go playing career at each rank, and I'll just review the game, and I'm sure for those of you who are at that rank that you'll get some value out of it, and yeah, this kind of thing. So here we have another game at 23Q. I think I'll try and do like maybe 4 to 6 games at each rank just so that we have enough of a sample size for people who are around that rank to be interested, that kind of thing. So once again, this is one of those first games, and I guess like the thing about playing at 23Q is that the there's a lot of variability in terms of the play. So that was kind of the rank that I settled at when I started playing. But here I'm playing against a 24Q, and here you can see that I've highlighted these stones here. Normally, we are told to play on the third or fourth line when we're taught how to play. But here he's playing, they're playing fifth. And I mean, here there's also like fifth line. So this is a little bit high. And I think what I'm noticing with the game so far, I mean, we reviewed the previous one, is that at the start, beginners really overvalue the center of the board and really underestimate the sides of the board. So okay, we're told this, but and beginners don't really grasp it, so they'll just scatter some stones wherever. The interesting thing about these moves is that although they're not optimal moves, they're still not mistakes. They don't like hurt black in any way. They're not like contradictory. Black hasn't lost a lot of territory. So I think like when I was a beginner, I would look at these stones and I would go like, oh, they played inefficiently. I should win this game. But it, like assumes you're able to play perfectly for like 200 moves with no mistakes, which is unrealistic. So these moves are, although they're like not ideal, they're fine basically. And here, I think I'm also what's also kind of strange is that I'm also playing for the sides more instead of for the corners. So here I highlighted both C and B as places that you can play. The idea is that you can just take these corners, and that's fine. And it's up to then you then pose the question to black, like how are you going to make use of these stones? The thing is that these are still decent enough moves, and they'll likely become a decent territory in the center later. So if this is the way, like I think like there's one opening called like the black hole opening, which is where you play. Can I think it's something. I can't remember exactly. It was like here or something, and then you play this one, and then this one, and then not here, this one, and then here. That doesn't look quite right. Like this, I'll get it right eventually. Yeah, I think this is almost it. This is it. So the idea is like you play this way, and you can this is a way you can play if you want. Like there's nothing, it's not something you can really do at the pro level, but we're not pros, so you can totally do this. So this is the beauty of Go, and I think like at the when I first learned the game, I kind of like underestimated that. So anyway, so when black plays here, I mean, white can just try and take the corner like this, or even make like this. This is really good for white. This corner, it's really big. So and meanwhile, black has this stone that's a little bit close, and there's a stone that we don't quite know what it's doing yet, and yeah, all of this. So this is pretty good for white. So the point is that if black starts playing all these really high moves, then you do the opposite thing, go for territory and focus on the corners. Um, so yeah, so here all okay. I think like what I would recommend is for white to take the shape here, just because it makes it a bit safer. It A is an issue, so we can imagine later like white might play something like this, and then there's this issue over here. But yeah, the issue is that white goes for it right away, which is fine. It's a thing you can do, but yeah, and then over here. So I think like it's just being careful for white that you lose liberties when you play like this. So here, and then maybe I don't know what could you imagine, like this Atari, and then playing over here, extend, and here, and then this stone is captured. So you want to be really careful when you're removing your outside liberties, because that's when you start getting forcing moves and all this, and you have to be careful and read to make sure all this happens. It doesn't go the wrong way. And the issue here is that black, he has these stones here, and they're kind of pre-peaked by this square stone here. So the shape is a bit thin. Like for black, I mean, putting this reading here aside, you can also just solidify over here. So playing this way is just a bit too thin, and white can even just try and take advantage of this. Like play here, this cut, and if black extends, you can just capture the stone like this, or what else can you do? Like it depends a little bit on how black responds. If black can, I mean, you could just push through here, or let me just turn down my volume a little bit. Yeah, so there's all sorts of things that can be done. Here I get this double Atari, which is great, and I capture, so that's really good for white. And here white can even go further and just take these outside stones, but okay, fine, turning over here to take the corner, no big deal. And here this is a little bit like small-minded, just capturing one stone. Like you can do more than this. I think the other thing as well is like push, cut, and then play this way, and then black has to figure out what they do with this group. So or you can even like push multiple times here and like here. Yeah, I don't think you need to have a plan for what happens if black cuts like this. But anyway, so yeah, this is no big deal. And then here we're kind of like this is all just a bit small, and then black kind of takes their outside liberties. So here it's really important for black to solidify right here, because otherwise white can push through like here, and then black has to crawl to make life. And crawling to make life like this is really bad, because you make only a couple of points, and then white will probably make more points than that on the outside. So this is the reason why you need to be careful to stay connected. Like, once again, I'll say it over and over again, connection and disconnection are the most fundamentally important things in Go, because stones together, strong, stones separated, weak. And that matters a lot when it comes to making territory or not, because you can only make as much territory as your strength, basically. So here, once again, like I emphasize taking the corner more instead of playing all the way out here. The issue with playing this move is that you can just invade, and then sure, like maybe white can take back the corner if they want, or not this one here. But the point is that there's a weakness that can be used. So like the issue with this, it's similar to in the last game where the stone was placed a little bit too high, and what this means is that there are invasion points underneath, and it's not really territory. And then when they then invade, like say this variation does happen, then you suddenly have this strong group. Would you really want the stone here? And maybe in this position it's not so bad, but you can imagine that if white had the stone somewhere else, then maybe white would prefer other things. Like for instance, you might prefer, like maybe you'd prefer to have the stone here instead. And this is the kind of like inefficiency that you want to avoid. So yeah, so okay, black plays this attachment, and the normal thing is to play something similar to this. This is kind of like a normal shape that you might expect from this position. But okay, I keep pushing, and I play here. There's a proverb which says don't peep where you can cut. So later, say white has this move, white might consider playing, maybe you can't play it exactly now, but something like this. The idea is that there's this cut, and by playing this move, you force black to fix themselves. And the question is like, okay, you force black to fix themselves. What was the value in this A stone? Like, what are you using this for? And on this board, not much, I guess. Maybe try and reduce black later. That could be a thing. But yeah, so that's yeah. And so I come back over here and I play like the same kind of move. So it's a bit weird. The issue here for black is that they're playing a lot of stones in the same area. So you can see like white has invested, sure, maybe it's not all territory, but the point is that white is more spread out across the board, whereas black is concentrated into one small area. And so what this means is that their stones, like they're getting fewer points for, they're getting fewer points, but also like they're over-investing in black strength. So like for instance, if white tried to cut, let's say, for a first, like black can just capture this stone. Assuming that this was alive, if white try and cut, black can just capture it. So the stones are connected. Meanwhile, say white plays this peep, then makes sense for black to connect. So this is a matter of timing. You want to play the moves when they become necessary, and not when they're not necessary. Otherwise, they're not where they should be, because they're playing unnecessary things. So yeah, okay, black's over invested. This peep doesn't do anything. Black should just like Hane because if white cuts, then what does it matter? And even even if somehow this cut was successful, once again, there's this issue. Although now because white's connected, and once again, connection's what matters, these stones become weaker. Um, One interesting thing to note here is that there's actually something called broken shape, which is something we'll be highlighting a lot in these introductory games, where you can see that there are two of black stones and white cuts cleanly between them. And this is called broken shape because there are stones that were trying to connect and now they're not. And uh, that that's that's an issue because if connection is the most fundamental thing, then broken shape represents like the opposite of that, which is why you almost never want to allow this. There are situations where you may want to allow, but it's usually because you have strength outside in the surrounding area and that kind of thing. Um, yeah, so we cut, and here I even just capture the stone just straight up because black is short on liberties. Like even if black plays this point, white can still capture over here. So this was a really strong move. I think he needs to play something like this. The issue was then black's Atari, I guess. So yeah, but then if black doesn't play the Atari, then white does. And yeah, it's not nice. It's not pretty. I mean, I guess black can try shenanigans, but um, black will just die. So yeah, not the best. So here black is playing inside the white's air territory, and there are no weaknesses. So black can just can't do anything, and they immediately die. It's fine. Black actually doesn't lose anything from trying this. And as a beginner, if you're a 23Q watching this, I would definitely recommend that you try these kinds of things because the only way you can get a sense for if something is working or not is to try it. And if you don't try it, then your opponent's definitely going to try it. And you know uh, you can put yourself on the back foot by never trying these things. So like I think that's one of the important things is to make sure that you're well rounded, and so that means that if there are things that frustrate you or that end up frustrating you later, you should go and try it yourself as well. So yeah, black tries to live explicitly here, even though it's not necessary at all. They say like, yeah, I have two eyes, I need to live. White continues to have bad shape, so the issue is these cutting points, and if there are many of them, then that can be problematic. So, for instance, let's say black cuts here, and then they can capture here. So white might connect this way, and then black can come down here. So this is better than if black could only just play this way. So you can see here that shape is a resource, and the thinner that you get, the more forcing moves you give to your opponent, and the more inefficient and awkward the play becomes. That doesn't mean that it's always wrong. Go is a game of exceptions, and there's no hard rules about anything. But this is what you need to keep in mind. This is the resource that you have. So here, once again, like we have even more. I think like what I showed in one of the branches was here. Like imagine black plays this way, and then black gets this double Atari, and that's just not fun. So I mean, white can still connect here. It's all technically kind of okay, uh, but this is the issue that white has. So if you're a beginner, be very you'll see this kind of shape a lot, and you should be very wary about it because of all the issues that I just mentioned. So I think I end up seeing this problem, and so I just fix. But it would be just way better to fix over here. And if not, then like playing here as well. This is also good. The So what happens is black plays this way, and here once again we have another example of broken shape. So these two, and yeah, white slices through. So this is also really great for white. And here I don't actually cut through again. Like once again here, and this is also broken shape. So this is I don't know why white decides not to do it and lets black connect. White can consider cutting here, but I imagine that it doesn't work. White is in the center, and they'll probably die. So instead, just play here. But let's see. I think like from here the game is relatively simple until the end. So uh, you can see that white is spread out across the board, and black is like focused very heavily in the center, and they just got reduced. And this is why white is just totally leading. Still, I make mistakes. So here in this game, if you look at the comments, I think that I am the shit and I'm so good at this game and look at this noob. But I mean, you have to forgive me. Like once again, this is a long time ago. But so here you can just try and capture, and there's nothing white can do. It's just is dead. So here white has overextended themselves. Black helps them fix and tries this invasion. In this game, I say I'm too strong of a player. You shouldn't invade me as like a cocky bro in the chat. But once again, like I still stick to my advice, which is that you should try these things out because your opponent will make mistakes and you'll learn and you'll get the confidence to go invade. But also, when they invade you, you'll learn about the tactics that they have in mind, and then you'll play better. So here, if I were white, just connect. Just play here. I mean, even that move probably kills, but like here, then it's fine. The idea is like this only makes one eye in the corner. You need way more in order to live. So like that's not going to work. So black needs to be more fancy, but you can imagine here pressing, coming back, and then even if black plays over here, it's not two eyes. So I mean, here it can get kind of scary, and the more variations there are, the more you should try it out in a real game, because then the skill really matters. So here, like for instance, like white can try this, then maybe, I mean, how many lines do we have on the first line here? You can play, maybe not here, but just play here. I think you need like 7 stones on the first line to live, so this is still nowhere close to enough. This would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, okay, almost, but not really. And yeah, so that's the issue. So they do try this, and here once again I make a mistake. So this is why it's good for them to invade. If they had just played here, alive. Not, I mean, yeah, that's alive too, but let's capture because it's satisfying. Alive. So yeah, so as a beginner, I needed to be more humble about this, I guess. So let's see. I came over here, but I can actually just take this, and yeah, that's annoying. It's like this. So I mean, if white plays here, then it's one eye. But even if black connects, here, it's still just one eye. This is the actual game now, and black self-ataris and dies. So yeah, after a while, they stop trying. And here, once again, like very, very cocky. So say I play here, white is dead again. So there are all sorts of ways in which I'm very lax at the end of the game, and that causes me to lose. And that comes from thinking that, oh yeah, I'm far ahead, I should win. To be fair, I think like even if white loses these stones, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, they're just these. Man, this is on the board for so long. Did we fix that in the end? We didn't fix it. Okay, so we never fixed that until the end of the game, which isn't great. But anyway, it doesn't really matter, because if things like this happens, then both players will just agree, and no big deal. So anyway, this is second game at this rank. I'm sure if any of you are actually double-digit Q, what was it, higher than 20-digit Q, you're probably learning a lot from this. But yeah, so I'll keep reviewing these games for a little while, and then we'll slowly work our way up. I guess like at the end we'll have like a huge library of reviews at a certain level, and I'm sure that'll be quite helpful for some people. It's also useful for me because I'm keeping some notes as we go along as like fundamental principles, and then having reviewed all these games, I can then use them as examples in lectures and for the basic principles and stuff like this. That already would be a huge project, so we'll see how far along with that I actually get. But yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, then check out the other videos in the series. I've bunch of other videos for you to go have a look at. So yeah, peruse them at your leisure, and otherwise I'll see you. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.